Like, what's the format for the show? Is it like a regular kind of deal, or?
I do a little bit of goofs. It's like half me goofing around, and then half I'll do like a Q&A. But the main thing is like we do group therapy.
Yeah.
So I'll pull people up from the crowd, and sometimes it gets very sincere, and then other times it's silly, but we'll see. I think it should be a fun night. It's a cool vibe in there. I am excited to see what the universe brings us this evening.
Yeah.
And so you have a background in stand-up and stuff.
A little bit, yeah. I started doing it when I was 16.
Like at 16, did they just let you into the comedy bars, or what? Or was it?
I waited until I could get my driver's license because I didn't want my parents to come.
Okay.
There was a bar that my friend's dad ran comedy open mic at. I did my first comedy open mic there a little over 10 years ago.
Nice. Yeah, even just like being in that room, it was like, I don't know, I feel like I'd be nervous, but also, I feel like you feel less nervous when you're in the zone of like, this is your whole thing, and it's like, since you're so in the zone of like planning and like making sure it's gonna work, you're just like.
Well, it's so funny, when I first started doing these shows, I was really nervous. Yeah, that very first show, that was only like 40 people, and I was really anxious for that. And tonight it's gonna be like 370.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're gonna have fun. There was no formula to get over that, except I guess getting over that I had to do it 100 times,
Yeah.
like more than 100 times, and I just learned to feel very comfortable in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah, growing up, do you have a chatty family, or?
Yeah. My dad's very, very expressive. My mom, well, yeah, I would say everyone in my family is very expressive. For sure.
As a kid, how did you experience evolving as like a social person?
I was really shy for almost all of middle school until around 8th grade is when I feel like I started feeling less shy. And then in high school, I felt a lot more extroverted, and I had a lot more friends. But I felt like I was pretty extroverted when I was in elementary school, and then middle school I kind of shut in a little bit, and then but I've always been interested in like talking to people and getting to know more people, and I always really like being around people. I feel myself drawn to places like in Toronto where there's we're out on a street.
Yeah.
And people are walking and things are happening and folks are yelling at each other, and like in LA, there's no one's walking.
It's quite desolate. Yeah.
And a lot of America is like those cities, like in Texas and even Baltimore. Like it's just very, very suburban, very car-centric cities, and I just like places where you can just sit and watch the world go by and stuff. So yeah, I've always been really, even my show is about like I guess the oral history of the human experience.
Whoa, really? Wow.
But I just in my regular life, I do enjoy. I love when I'm sitting at a bench and if I can hear somebody else's conversation, I'll listen to it. I'm curious because I don't know how to exist, and I'm like maybe I can get a glimpse of how to do it by listening to how do other people talk and live and be.
Yeah. I feel like Therapy Gecko is kind of like eavesdropping.
Yeah.
But it turns into.
It is very much eavesdropping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed you'll ask a lot. What's the most persistent thought on your mind lately?
Yeah.
What's the most persistent thought on your mind lately?
The most persistent thought on my mind lately is how lately is lately? I'm gonna say lately. Lately, my most persistent. I love life. I love life. By the way, I just for clarity, that is a very, very lately thought. Very much lately. I gotta say that thought was not present before lately.
Yeah, we love.
But lately, I'm just like, I don't know, just walking. I was like, oh my god. I really feel it's been a lot of ups and downs doing, therapy. People will ask me a little bit like, does like all the stuff that people say to you get to you? And it does. No, not really.
Yeah.
But the overall experience of the therapy gecko in my life can get to me. Sure. You know, like being on the phone with someone and them telling me something is like that's just a moment. You know, that's not. You know, once you're done talking to them, it's over. You know, but like the therapy gecko is, you know, a thing and a persistent thing in my life that has its ups and downs. I suppose. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like as well with making content and streaming, like having to do things live as well. Like you have to put your whole essence into it. You have to put all of your energy.
Yeah, I mean, well, all the stuff that's in the all the stuff in the moment is the good stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's the stuff when you're just like your mind leaves you to worry is the stuff that, you know, when I'm actually out there, at least, you know, even if I'm out there and like the show's going bad, at least my negative feelings are tied to a thing that will be over and, you know, soon. It's like, you know, once you start getting existential about life and you start just worrying about things in general, that's where bad things come. I think if you can map your feelings to things that are immediately around you, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah. That's nice.
I don't know if any of that made sense.
That made some sense, and I do.
You know, it makes perfect sense to me, I guess.
That's what counts. When you're thinking about going up on stage, do you ever think about kind of wanting to? Do you ever intentionally take inspiration from what you've seen? I don't know. Other people do. Yeah. Like, have you had anyone on your mind lately?
I mean, I love Norm Macdonald. He's great. I mean, there's who else inspires me?
Your set kind of reminds me of like alternate universe Joe Pera in a sense.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
We got the Tree
He's
TV
really
going on.
I love Joe Pera. He's great. Connor O'Malley's really funny.
Yeah, you're like if Connor O'Malley and Joe Pera were the same guy.
I love that so much. I love that so much.
That's great.
I love that. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of folks who will call in will be mentioning how they have aspirations and goals, but they just can't commit to it. But it seems like.
Do you listen to the podcast?
Yeah.
Well, how have you listened? How much of it have you listened to?
Probably a lot, because I've also been studying up this week a little bit, and also because one of my jobs is like a labor job, so I always put on podcasts while I'm.
Oh, really? What episode? Do you remember anything from?
Oh
any
my
of the...
gosh, I wonder. I just remember people. The occasional person would be like, "Oh, I want to do live streaming too. I want to do what you're doing," and I'm like, "Just go do it.
Just go do it. There's no.
Go do it.
There's no.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. It's like, go do it.
Just go do it.
Yeah.
Just go do it.
I feel like you have a just go do it attitude. Do you feel like?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this thing is not something I decided to. I had no plans of like, I'm gonna become a therapy gecko. You know, it just was like I just started fucking around and it started working and I started going along with it. And then I kind of used it as a vessel to like fulfill a lot of my like actual things that I was planning on that I wanted to do. Like I always wanted to do my own thing. I always wanted to tour the country, whether it was doing stand-up or doing something. I always wanted to get to meet a lot of people and go a lot of places, and I always wanted to make weird things, and I always wanted to have my own like business. And part of me feels like I would have continued to try to find, if it wasn't the gecko, if the gecko didn't work immediately, it worked immediately. Like, you know, I posted the very first TikTok I posted of this thing got like 2.5 million views, and I just started going with it.
I think about the law of attraction sometimes, and a lot of it's woo-wee sometimes. But I think a big part of it is that like you have to put yourself out there. You have to create the magnet for things to be attracted to, and like putting yourself out there as a gecko is a big thing. Like it creates a big magnet. Yeah. So
I'm gonna look at my phone real quick. So the show will begin in about 40 minutes, and I have 9. So there's phone number. So right now people are loading in.
Oh yeah.
And there's a phone number that people can text, and I'm gonna pick about 3 or 4 people to call up on stage and talk to, and I'm getting submissions now.
Nice.
So I'm gonna see if any of them.
Is there any method to the madness for you, or is it just?
There is a bit of a method, yeah. I like things that, well, I don't. Sometimes people will be like, "Here's my big story." I don't like that.
Yeah.
Because I like, because it's not a lot to talk about. You know, when people come prepared with like, this happened and this happened, and it's not.
Yeah.
I like a problem that we can talk about. I like a feeling. I like things that are emotional and open-ended. I like things that have to do with kind of common ground, like relationships with friends or family or romantic partners. I like things that have like and then there's of course like, you know, things that are shocking or, you know, sex, drugs, rock and roll type of shit. I like to do at least one that strikes me as sincere, and then a few others that strike me as just kind of funny. But then sometimes the sincere ones become funny, and the funny ones become sincere. And then a lot of the time, like let's see what we
What do we got going on?
Oh, this is kind of interesting. Hi, Gek. My name is, and I'm here with my ex-boyfriend, and we want to talk about why our relationship ended. I think that's kind of interesting. That's something.
Naturally, yeah.
That's an interesting thing to talk about. My root beer addiction is ruining my life. That's a little funny. I can relate to that.
I can definitely relate to that.
So let's talk about seeing ghosts. Someone said, I want to talk about breaking into my own house.
Okay, fair.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means at all. So I've noticed that, like, at least in my own experience doing my show, that like performing is less about like the words you say and more about like the vibes. Sometimes if I'm not like intentional about it, I'll just start, you know, fucking getting abrasive and stuff. And I think tonight I intentionally, I'm in a very, I'm like kind of, I feel really like chill. And so I might not even, like I've made the mistake of like trying to like be too make a joke every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like, let's just vibe out and just talk to people.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of the vibe I'm feeling tonight.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because I feel like so many people just want to hang out.
That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hang out.
Hell yeah. I'm excited for that. Excited to see that. I know, it's been interesting trying to come up with questions because it's like, I'm a freaking gecko. What do you want to know? And like...
I've been having a lot of epiphanies lately. I'm on like a weird kick now of a few things.
Oh, hell yeah. You're realizing things.
Yeah. I'm realizing that I'm not gonna say this like definitively, but I think the only things that matter are like what you are actually doing and who you're doing it with, and if you like them. Everything else is kind of like doesn't fucking matter. Like I think like on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, everyone's like kind of obsessed with like, you know, you can get obsessed with like views, and you can get obsessed with there's a lot of things to get obsessed about that aren't like you make movie like there's nothing else to be obsessed with except like the thing that you're actually doing and making, and everything else is kind of inconsequential except like the people like because if you're, you know, if you're like, as long as you're like around other people and you actually like what you're doing, I don't see anything else being all that important. I mean, you know, it's important to like make enough money that you don't die. That's important.
Yeah, hopefully find a way to do that. There's avenues.
But those 3 things, and everything else, like, oh, I didn't sell enough T-shirts or whatever, is like, you know.
Yeah, and I'm trying to love the process more. Do you find yourself present in loving the process?
Depends.
Yeah.
Depends. Lately, I have been again super lately.
Super lately.
Super lately.
It comes in waves, and like
It comes
you'll
in
feel
waves.
like you figured it out, and then like a couple weeks later, it's like.
Oh, don't say that to me. Oh my god.
No, but this one's for
No,
everyone.
but
This one's for everyone.
no. Here's the thing. You are 100% correct. You're so right. You'll feel like you figured it out. But no, I'll be crying to my therapist again very soon. But I'm gonna enjoy the period of time when I'm not doing
sink
that.
in. Yeah, but I don't know. I think we do learn from it every time, and I think we feel the way we need to feel in the moment. Any other epiphanies?
I have a few epiphanies. Yeah. I'm in no rush. I told you that. I'm in no rush anymore.
Yeah.
I'm in no rush because that's the thing. If you really love the process of what you're doing, you're in no rush.
Yeah.
You know, I probably am in a rush to do things. But let me say this: I would like to not be in a rush. I enjoy life more when I'm not in a rush.
Yeah.
I've been in a rush for a while, and maybe that's afforded me some time to not be in a rush. But I think it's good to not be in a rush. Because if you just like what you're doing, then there's no rush to go be crazy about it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like sometimes I'll feel like I'm in a rush if I have too many expectations for myself, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When you have too many expectations for yourself or for the world, or you want too many things, you're in a rush.
Yeah. What expectations get in your way when you're trying to not feel in a rush?
Well, I'm in a moment where people seem to give a fuck about what I'm doing, and the entire time I've been doing it, I'm like, I've been in a rush because I'm like, if you're not in a rush, you're not going to capitalize on the people. You're not going to capitalize on the moment of that you're in right now, where people give a fuck about what you're doing, and people are going to stop caring, and you're gonna be regretful, and it's kind of living like that for it does still live like that, but I'm in my head, I'm like, I think the real rush should be to like be at some form of peace. That's what I really want, because I really haven't felt at peace for a long time. And so that's my next goal, is to hopefully attempt to be at peace. I mean, you mentioned that you saw that Vice documentary.
Yeah.
And I remember when I watched it, I was like, I look miserable in this.
I saw the comments. He was like, "Is he okay?"
Yeah.
One guy was like, "They made it really dark."
They did. They made it really dark,
It
and I looked.
seems
No offense to them, they were nice people,
No,
but it was like, I was looking at it, I was like, I look kind of miserable in this, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
And I'm not. And it's
really easy to make a streamer look miserable.
Okay, that's what everyone says. Every time I say, "Oh, I look miserable in that," people are always like, well, that's what they're doing. They're going for an angle or whatever. But I'm like, no, they captured me being. They went to film a documentary with earnest. I really feel like they approached the project with earnest, and that's what they found. Is that I was miserable. Like it's and I was, and I don't. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be at peace in some kind. Because if I want to be able to approach projects and life and creative things and people, and I want to approach it from a place of like joy and not a place of like rushness.
Yeah.
I'm not. These are all. I'm not there at all. But these are just goal. These are just like directions I want to go into.
Yeah, it's nice when you find yourself in a moment you really wanted to be in, and also feel ready, and also feel excited and at peace. Because when you've got that attention on you, it's hard to manage.
It is hard to manage.
Feeling.
It's hard to manage expectations.
Yeah.
Let's look back at these texts. Let's see if we got anything interesting.
Toronto, how we doing this evening? Yes. If you saw a guy come on stage with green face paint on, declining all those airdrops, That was someone else. That wasn't me. Folks, are you ready for a psychedelic, tantalizing, sensual, beautiful evening of people talking and saying words? Yes, Toronto! Oh my goodness, folks. I am very excited to talk to you all tonight about all the crazy things going on in your weird little heads. But before I do, I want to introduce our opening act for the evening. He's a very funny comedian. Folks, please give all of your attention right now to Mo Ismail!
He is an absolute gem on and off the stage. You guys ready, man? I need a little more energy.
There's a whole like stereotype, I guess, about Canadians being like very cordial and friendly and whatnot. Is that something you guys resent or enjoy?
Oh, I just fuck with people with it all the time. Like
Yeah.
I work with a bunch of like Americans, and
Yeah.
I'll just say like sorry all the time. And I'm like, can you stop? I'm
Can you say sorry?
sorry. Sorry.
Oh, there we go. How long ago did you guys break up?
2 weeks ago.
Oh, Jesus.
I feel like there's a little more than that, maybe like 3 weeks. Okay,
Who's
that's
counting? Who's counting? Who's counting? Toronto, thank you very much! Thank you guys! God bless you! God bless you! God bless you! God bless you all! Thank you guys very much for coming to the show. Thank you guys! Thank you guys! Thank you guys! This was fun. We have another show coming up right after this one, but for as long as I can, I'll be standing over by the merch table if anyone wants to, yeah, look at that green light. If anyone wants to take a picture or say what's up, I'll do it for as long as we can. Thank you guys very much for coming to the show.
There's a few like little brands now that are like, if you catch a wave with those guys, like something like
Don't Tell, yeah.
Don't Tell, or like Kill Tony or something.
Oh, well, yeah, Kill Tony is like the new
Yeah.
Tonight Show.
Yeah,
where,
you
like,
go on,
there are
you
people who
smash.
like, if you do,
Yeah.
it really is like the new, because there's there's a lot of people who are like touring off of that big time.
Yeah, man, and it's launched so many comics, and like, it's just cool, like, to see that that's the path that's now that's like you said, the new couch. That's
It's the new it's the new Johnny Carson's couch. Yeah.
So.
It's Yo, shout out to the Galaxy Cubes, dude. Bro, shout out. My finger's already stained blue. But people are gonna think that I have like gout or what. I don't know what this is.
But again, I think that's why it's important to do shit like what you're doing, like.
Yeah, it's all like TikTok
have
and
fun
Instagram
with it.
and yeah.
Enjoy it, like.
Well.
How did you get onto all of this? Like, what was that?
We're going to Reddit the summer of 2020 when the live streams were popping off.
A little bit, yeah.
So
you started live streaming?
Yeah, so I was live streaming on Reddit. I live streamed on Reddit like 3 times, and then the 4th time I live streamed on Reddit, it went to the front page of Reddit.
Oh shit.
And so like the 3rd ever time I was doing this, there was like 20,000 concurrent viewers.
Whoa.
Because it was just like on everyone's Reddit page.
Yeah.
At first I was like really fucking around, and then it did slowly start to become like more sincere.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
now it's like tonight. I don't know how much of the show you caught tonight.
I watched the whole thing.
But like,
stage
dude, like that first guy.
Yeah.
It was like.
His
Like,
mom?
I love. Sometimes people come on the show and they're like trying to be funny, or they're like trying to do a thing.
It's not authentic.
But that first guy, and like the couple who went up too. It's like both like they were all just like being really honest and just like being like, here's what's going on, and it was like I love when people come on stage and they're just like
telling their authentic story.
Yeah,
and then it's like, and it's just like they don't have to like try to like. It's just naturally like funny what's going on with people, you know.
Dude, that's
what did you think of? What did you think of that couple, man?
Dude, that was wild. I didn't expect that at all. I'm here with my ex.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I had this thought while you were on. I'm like, it's so interesting because you're sincere with how you're talking to them. And it's a tricky thing because as a comic as well, there is this urge to be like, you hear something, oh, this guy, his mom doesn't know who he is, and then you're like, oh my God, this guy, and then you try to get into it. But you absorbed it in such a gentle way.
Thanks, man.
And it wasn't like you weren't. And it's easy. It's easy as a comic to fall into that and be a dick about it without meaning to.
I've done that. Yeah.
So the fact that you didn't do that, I was like, oh, buddy, you read the play perfectly. Like it
Thanks,
wasn't.
man. Thank you.
You know, and I think the audience felt it too.
Thank you. I've been like working on that because I think like a lot of the times like when there's like a silence or like I'm like I can feel the urge, like I need to cut, like especially if there's like a little bit of silence, I'm like, no, I need to cut in to like say something. Yeah. But I like there was a lot of times during the show where I felt that feeling and I shrugged it off. And I was like, I'm just gonna well, especially it was easy for this show because I really liked that guy. Yeah. And I like trusted that guy because he was being so authentic, and I was like, I'm perfectly happy to sit here while you talk because you're just really you know, because he was just genuine.
Yeah. I like how you asked him when you were like, because he's like, I don't know if my mom knows who I am. And you're like, do you know who your mom is? And I was like, I like that question. I was like, oh, I'm back. Like you said it with a couple, like Jerry Springer, but I was like, that was Jerry Springer moment. I was like, oh, do you? Who's your mom?
That guy did. I meant what I said. Like he did seem very Canadian.
Dude, super Canadian. He's like, oh.
That was actually, I almost never, that was the first time I've ever only brought up. Technically there was 3 people. Yeah. But this is the first time I've ever only done like 2 walk-ups.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because like...
How many do you usually bring?
We should do at least 3. Yeah. Because I only started doing like the little Q&A portion recently. Mm-hmm. So before I was doing 4. Mm-hmm. But I like doing the Q&A thing because I get a little bit of like control back. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of time with that first guy. But it was like, if I like someone and it's entertaining and we keep getting into stuff, I'm like, just keep going.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool.
Dude, it's crazy how everybody was just locked in the whole time.
Dude, yeah, no, people like, I really genuinely am very touched by how the audience like when someone's sharing, like everyone's like on board.
Listening, yeah.
Everyone's just like listening. Like, yeah, dude, I've been there. Like fucking. Yeah. It was cool.
Dude, I don't know. A part of me was like, maybe, like, you know, with a format like this, like you would think that people would just at some point be like, okay, whatever. But no, it's like the whole time it was like engaging, and no one was waiting for like a laugh. They were just in it for the story, like, you know.
Yeah.
It's exciting to have to have the story and then to be able to come up with opinions and thoughts about it. Like it jogs your brain to like see people talk about their stories and like think, what if I was the gecko, what would I say?
Good evening, Toronto. How are we doing tonight? Yes! Oh my goodness, Toronto.
Like I was touring with these 2 other guys, and we checked into this hotel in Alberta, right? We were in Edmonton, and I opened the hotel door. There's 2 queen beds, typical hotel setup, right? So immediately I take the first bed. I don't want to sprawl out, right? Second guy takes the second bed, and then now we're both laying there looking at the third guy. Like where the fuck is this guy gonna go? You know? And then this guy is brushing his teeth, the third guy, right? And he finishes, and he jumped into the second bed. So I was like, okay, sick, you know? I'm gonna sleep nice tonight. It's gonna be great. But for a brief moment, I was like, why not my bed, you know? Why did you choose the other bed, bro? This guy's the man, a legend on and off the stage. You're gonna love him. Please put your hands together for Lyle Therapy Gecko, everybody!
I first realized that I had a problem with candy back when I was in college. Because when I was in college, and my friends and I would go out at night, my friends would carry a condom in their wallets, just in case. case if their night were to go a particular way. And I would do the same thing, except with a Ghirardelli chocolate. But it was actually in my mom's basement that I first started doing Therapy Gecko. But did you know that before I started doing Therapy Gecko, I actually experimented with a different show where I would buy 11 different Reese's products. Rank them all on a scale from 1 to 10. Pack them all into one bowl. Mash them all together with my bare hands. Put the bowl in the microwave to melt the chocolate. And yes, for some reason that I do not know, do the whole thing shirtless wearing on the door. You said here, you texted me and you said, I'm making a lot of sacrifices for the future, and I'm wondering if it's the right thing to do. Everyone just got super serious just now. You stuck, okay, so you wake up at 8 a.m., you go to school, and then you work for 16 hours? Doing what?
Engineering.
Okay.
I just make robots and cars and stuff.
You make robots and cars and stuff? Do you like doing it?
I love doing it. It's great.
Okay.
But it's like, okay, this is great, right? It's work.
Sure.
But then there's like the rest of life. And it's like, where's that? You know?
Yeah. You're too busy making robots, or when was the last time you had sex? What? I got a call once that was like, hey man, I took your advice and it was bad. I forget what the context was, but I was like, damn, I don't know if it's a good idea for me to be doing this whole thing. Thank you very much!
How's it feel post double show? Like I even feel zonked.
I actually feel pretty good. Just
That's
'cause, like,
good.
I really enjoyed the energy of the second show. It felt very casual.
It was so casual.
It felt very casual.
Yeah. Wow. So it's the end of a big busy day for Lyle in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really grateful that I got to do any of this crap.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was definitely awesome. And it's so sweet to see everyone in the lineup afterwards.
It is. It's really nice. Mm-hmm. It's really nice.
Do you ever feel like interested by the folks that you end up attracting? Like, I don't know, it's just cool to see.
Well, it's cool. I just feel it seems like it's a, relatively like diverse group of folks.
Yeah.
Like just a bunch of different people, different ages, and
Is there anything that you think will keep you awake at night after this show?
No. No. I don't think anything's gonna keep me awake after this
Anything that
show.
will help you go to sleep?
I don't think I need any help going to sleep tonight. Yeah.
Okay, so it's all awesome vibes. So I'm asking around today about being a gecko. How does it feel to be a gecko today?
It feels very nice. It feels very nice.
Let's go.
I'm so sorry. I wish I had more words.
No, that's good. That's enough.